Hello and welcome. Namaste, everyone. This is Dr. Kushdil from Om Yoga and Ayurveda Clinic. Today, we are going to talk with Dr. Vaidya Kamalkant Bambhania. He has 42 years of experience in Ayurvedic field, not only in India, but in US, San Diego, and LA. He is not working only in the Ayurvedic field, but a vast experience of working in a manufacturing company in Ayurvedic pharma companies. Let's welcome Dr. Vaidya Kamalkant Bhamania. Hello and namaste, Dr. Vaidya Kamalkant. How are you today?
I'm doing well today. Just very much delighted to have this conversation with you and your honorable listeners.
Oh, thank you very much to give such an honor to our listeners as well. Um, So when I saw your journey, like a 42 years of journey in Ayurveda field, I was really encouraging myself to stay in this path. But when I saw these things, I have think that what makes you to learn Ayurveda and what what is the reason behind it? Could you please share with us?
Yeah, definitely. I would like to share my particularly how I was particularly tempted to do Ayurveda as my career. So when I was born, I was a very born. I was a very sick child, and almost I was declared dead by the doctors.
Ah,
And my grandfather, who was a Vaidya, he took me to his house and then he gave me the Sved, but just the Ashma Sved. So just given me the heat and then I start crying.
ah,
So that was the first encounter with Ayurveda in my life when I begin taking my first breath. So I think I'm in depth of Ayurveda. And then particularly my entire atmosphere at my home was completely based on Hindu culture, uh, our ancient philosophies, and particularly we are following when I was young. I, just don't remember that my father took me to any doctors except in the case of malaria. But almost my father was giving me every week some castor oil and haritaki to clean my stomach since my childhood. So that way,
ah.
and then and my grandfather all of a sudden get an accident and he fall down from the ladder and he died. So at that time, I decided to go in the medical field. But unfortunately, the competitiveness of education in India, I was not able to get proper percentage. So then I decided to go into veterinary science. And
Mhm.
then I already got admitted in the veterinary science, but then fortunately I got a call from Ayurveda and then I accepted that. So that is the beginning of my path in Ayurveda. And then I had a passion and love for Ayurveda.
Right.
So being my father was a chemist, a doctorate in chemistry. So I got some scientific genes from my father, and my maternal grandfather was a Vaidya. So he said it's a fusion of science and tradition
Wow.
in
So
my
it's
gene,
a
and that motivated
very good
me,
fusion.
and that motivated me to go into Ayurveda. And I was very much upset at that time seeing the environment of Ayurveda. How people were practicing
Right.
Ayurveda.
And what?
I was talking about 1960s and 70s. People don't properly follow the scientific tradition, what our ancestors and particularly uh, the so particularly the scholars of Ayurveda like Yadav Chitrikamji Acharya, C.P. Sukla Sahib.
Yes.
That
Yes.
in general practice, known a single Vaidya was following that tradition.
Ah.
And I had a very good. My father also learned Ayurveda from a very renowned tradition. You may have heard the Hardewada Vaidya, Prabha Shankar Dada and Nan Shankar Dada, who were performing the surgery in Ayurveda. So my father has a uh, fortune to learn Ayurveda from Krupa Shankar Dada. He's a the
Wow.
Prabha Shankar Dada. So that way, I think I narrated some Ayurvedic uh, Ayurvedic love and affection from this tradition.
Uh, this is the gem actually. While we are talking, I just come to know that I am also in the part of the same tradition. Just
Oh,
because
wonderful.
my guru is also belongs to that tradition, and I learned the
Which
Ayurveda from him.
Gadhadawada tradition?
Yes,
Oh,
Gajradawada
nice. Very
tradition.
nice to hear that. Very nice to hear that. And
So,
I met Krupa when my father came to US in 1993. I have get an opportunity to see him. He was 105-year-old at that time,
oh
and I
wow,
had his blessing. Still, I had his books, and I keep his photos in my particularly all my puja sthan. He was
wow.
such an honest and he's a kind of Rusi personality I have seen in my life.
So now I
And
understood that why you are in this tradition. After so
particularly,
many hurdles, challenges, and
yeah,
lots of other things. So let's jump on your other part of your life. That
great, great.
what makes you to study and then afterwards to stay in this path. Though you, I think when you are finished your study, I was just completing my primary school, so that much experienced you are. So when you are, I think when you were passed your BAMS and then masters, at that time Ayurveda is not on the top like how we have nowadays. So what challenges you have faced at that time in India?
So no, that's what my patient was completely Ayurveda. So I started some allopathic practice because I was also get trained from one of the very leading practitioner in allopathy. So I have started my allopathic clinic in particular Kakaria area, and then after 6 or 9, I practiced around 2 years there. But once I think, unfortunately, I get an opportunity to join as a chief physician in Sanjeevani Ayurveda Hospital of Rashik Bhai. So I don't know, though the particularly the compensation was not so good, but I have decided that if I have not switched over to Ayurveda at this point, then I will never go to Ayurveda. So whatever was I was earning a lot of money while doing the allopathy practice, uh, like my all friends were doing, but I
Mm,
then changed my way of change my path and decided to go to Ayurveda.
right. So
It
all
was a
our
lot of struggle
listeners.
there, but I get some 3 4 years there in Sanjeevani Hospital. So it was a, and at that time I was getting around 650 rupees as my salary. So and little bit practicing Ayurveda from my home and practicing some allopathy. So I was able to maintain my day-to-day routine with feeding my wife and my children.
Okay, so the Vaidya Dr. Kamalkant, Dr. Vaidya Kamalkant, um, I have seen like you have worked in a pharmacy.
Yes.
It's a very renowned pharmacy, Unja Pharmacy in Gujarat. So,
Mhm.
what was your experience, and how does that experience work well in your later lives?
So I joined Unja Pharmacy as a particularly scientific and technical advisor. So my work is to review all their literature of the products, classical as well as patented product.
Ah,
So in I think for the first time I have written a classical. I have taken data from Rastantra Sar and Siddha Prayog Sangra, and I have translated many of classical product into English and Hindi language with the help of my wife. And it was a very classical work done by my wife and myself both, and that was appreciated all over the India.
wow.
Particularly, I have all this all 26 or 28 uh, classical product with gold, diamond, and pearl. So I have translated all that product into English, and then my wife has translated in Hindi. She is a graduate from Hindi, and she helped me a lot.
Okay.
And
Right.
that work was highly appreciated by the Ayurvedic community. And I was
Mm,
talking this about 1996 or 1998.
Wow. So at that time, I was studying Ayurveda.
Yeah.
And yes, from that time
And that
onwards.
I also, with that experience, I learned how to use classical medicine in my practice. And that really
Right.
helped me, and that had made me particularly very bold and very aggressive practitioner of Ayurveda.
Good. So
And
what happened?
that also
What
make
happened?
me a Rasa Vaidya. That also make me a Rasa Vaidya.
Ah, yes. So what happened then after doing this wonderful work in India? You decided to go to the US.
No, I work with Unja Pharmacy. I developed there a lot of patented Ayurvedic proprietary formulations for them. And then also I have started my own manufacture unit from 2004 to 2008 with the
Okay.
help of one of my friend finance. But then in 2008, I was only the last member of my family to come to US. So
Ah,
that was, and my father and mother and my grandmother want me to come to US. And at
okay.
that time, I decided to come to US. And in 2008, the recession was on the top. And my idea
Hmm.
was that I have written in my that if my wife would have got a $2,000 job, I could have gone back and then continue my work. But it didn't happen due to 2008 recession. So I have to
Hmm.
work in laundromat, and thus I got some uh, startup in USA. And then in 2009, because I had background in pharmaceutical manufacturing, I have got a good job in one of the very largest manufacturer of vitamins and botanicals in the
Hmm.
soft gel form in the United States, J&D Laboratories, and I have joined there as a senior product development manager.
Wow.
That was
So
a
that,
unique experience. That
yeah.
was a
So
very unique experience. I work very hard, and I combine Ayurveda, botanicals, and particularly Western herbalism as well as Chinese herbal medicine into Ayurveda and develop some products. And that also
wow.
gave me a great success.
That's
And
really
particularly
nice to hear.
in India, I have developed one soft gel in 2004 or for the Chyawanprash. But at that time, I don't have any idea about how the soft gel are made.
Ah.
And then after coming to US, fortunately, I have to directly join as a senior product development manager in the soft gel manufacturing company.
Mm. Right.
So now the why I am talking about soft gel, because soft gel is the thing where you can combine some herbs with ghee, oil, honey, and you can make a tailor-made, ready to swallow Ayurvedic formulation.
Right. So
So
it's
suppose
I would
you
say it's a modern Ayurveda.
yeah so suppose you want to give tulsi with honey and ghee, then soft gel can be made of that, and the person can swallow with warm water. That's it. Very easy.
Yes, so easy and ready to go kind of things are now in a market. So I can say like Ayurveda is also ready to go with modern market with this kind of
Yeah, now
formulations.
there is a lot of potential. See, I am seeing that Dabur has developed the capsule stress comp, and they have a lot of leaking issue. Where I had worked with the company, and I was the particularly senior product development manager, as well as the recovery manager. So what I was working, I have when we get the rejected soft gel like leaking soft gel, so I have to recover material from them and using again in the production.
Mm. So uh, as I think what we learned from our ancestors that there is nothing any failure such a kind of word just because it's a
Absolutely, yeah,
betterment
absolutely
of
right. Yeah,
yourself or improvement yourself. That is the only thing we can say.
continuously study, education, and improvement in your practice as well as your personality in everything.
True,
And if you
true.
try honestly, then you have merit and education, then only nobody can beat anybody.
Right. So I got one question in my mind that if when you are migrated from India to US, um, if you don't get the job in pharmaceutical company or any other company which
I would, for survival, I have to do any kind of job.
mm,
But then gradually, as soon as I get settled, my ultimate goal was to turn back to Ayurveda. And that's what I did in my history.
right, right.
So this
So that is
pharmaceutical
how.
experience, yeah. So anyhow, whether I have not, or I would have gone back to India. Once my wife and my children were set down here, I would have gone. And it is my plan. After 5 years, I'm going back to India
So it's
because
still
I have full freedom there.
I can, sorry, I
I
can
have full
see.
freedom there in India.
Yes, yes. So that is what I am going to ask you the same question, like full freedom in India to practice Ayurveda. What does that mean?
That means you can use whatever you want to use, heavy metal containing formulations. That is the injections of Ayurveda. Here you
True.
have to restrict yourself in spite of you are knowing that he will be or he or she will be benefited with this, but you have to restrict yourself.
Right. So in that condition, how would you survive as a practitioner over there?
I have developed, see, I am not using any heavy metals in my practice at this point. But
Yes.
see, I am using a lot of like Mukta Bhasma, Swarnamaksik Bhasma, Bang Bhasma, uh, Loha Bhasma, Tamra Bhasma. I'm using these in my practice because these are particularly all the mineral metals are used in nutraceuticals. So if you have a good supply and a genuine supply, you can use it. But you have to be very precise in using that. You cannot. I have very wonderful dispensing unit, and I am just giving my clients particularly measured dose and advise them to buy a digital scale.
Right.
And I blended myself all the formula and then give it to them. So there are no chances of any particularly it can be called all the particularly I use Tamra Basma or Smarna Maxima, it should be properly homogenized with the blend. So there won't be any improper distribution of this kind of metals.
Right. So it's basically you are making
Also,
your own
I use sometimes
formulas.
I sometimes use the gemstones, bhasmas and pistis.
Right.
So it is a they all are giving wonderful result.
Right. So it's from not coming under Ayurveda word, but it's coming from the nutrogenic.
Say again.
It is not coming under Ayurveda name, like it is Ayurveda medicine or herbal medicine or something like that. It is coming in a different path, that nutrogenic,
No, no,
so some other
no,
way.
no, no. You are talking about all the gems, stones, and bhasmans and pisti? No, they are all mentioned in Charak Samhita.
Okay. No,
Charak and Sushrut,
but
they
what
have
you are
mentioned
using
particularly.
in US, what you are using in the US, you are not able to, you are not allowed to use those things, isn't it?
No, it is not particularly. It is not about the allowance. As far as you are not using the mercury, lead, and arsenic
Right,
preparations. So there
right.
is particular restrictions for using mercurial, lead, and arsenical preparations.
Okay, got it.
There is no restriction for if you use the tamra bhasma purely prepared with vanaspati yogan, you can use it. You have to be very
Right,
careful. It should not be prepared with rasa, particularly parad and gandhak.
right. Got it.
And
So
you have
it's
to be very
not, it
precise
shouldn't
about
be
the dose.
made,
You have to be
it shouldn't be made with the kajali preparations.
kajali or something. Yeah, there are lot bhasmas are made in lot of different ways.
Right, right. Yes, I got it. So yeah,
And you
that.
need to be every practice need to be very precise using bhasmas.
Mm,
It is particularly if you not properly homogenize the blend or giving some more dose, then there are some not any fatal or anything like very serious reaction, but like gastric upset or something like that is very common. But you also need to identify whether it is a purely due to low bhasma or tamra bhasma. That practitioner should be properly trained to do so.
right, right. Got it. So what makes you to stay in this field, even in US? What makes you, what are the things you love to stay
I
in
love
this?
people here. I
Ah,
love people here. People are very whoever are coming for Ayurveda therapy, they are very learned, educated people, they can understand our principles very nicely. Even though you explain them for the bhasmas, they are open.
Ah,
So I whatever generally what happen if some white or something like that I have to use the bhasma, I can give them the research studies.
right,
So let them first evaluate whether it is, if and then if they are finding that it is useful and I am ready to try, then only then and then only you can give with the informed consent.
right. Okay, so that's like a people
And
very
particularly,
learned and
very
open to
particularly,
try something new.
yeah.
That's what you love.
So and every practitioner need to be, instead of scaring and just frightening about the bhasmas, we need to be we have to take a very balanced approach.
Hmm. Right.
Because see, all the acharyas and particularly Rasa Vaidyas have given this wonderful tradition. Why they have given? If they are, see, I was saying about the lead yesterday when I was,
Mm-hmm.
because lead is a very good uh, neutralizer for ionizing radiation, and we have used lead in our Ayurvedic preparation. So there must be some science behind that, because lead is technically and scientifically proved that it is very good particular thing for preventing the ionizing radiation,
Mm.
and that is a
If
main cause of lot of cancers. And in Ayurveda, we have used the Krishna Nag Bhasma in lot of cancers.
if it's like that, then nowadays we are seeing every other articles or every other research
Yeah.
based papers or something like that.
Particularly, they have don't like tobacco.
Yeah.
Tobacco has a lot of people are claiming that tobacco, but nobody has proved that it is happened due to tobacco smoking.
You got my
We have to
question, you
be,
and answered it. Because nowadays everywhere we can see like, oh, Ayurveda medicine, due to Ayurveda medicine
yeah,
liver has
particularly here,
damaged
here you in
and
US
lead
also.
is the high and this and that, but
Yeah,
nowadays we are having a lead
I have
high proportion of lead in even our food
there
like
are,
fruits and vegetables as well.
yeah, even if you eat lot of dark chocolate, you are exposed to high lead.
Yeah, see.
Even if the person is smoking, then is also going to get lead poisoning. And
Yeah,
why just people we are blaming on the Ayurvedic medicine or Chinese medicine?
absolutely, absolutely, that is my question all the time, but
We have to
um
create such awareness. Now it is our
yes.
duty to create such awareness.
Mm.
No, I'm not like, no, I don't like to, I have to give Tribang Basma or Nag Basma just very blindly, or just I am fanatic about doing. No, it's not like that. It should be discipline use.
True. Yes,
Wherever it
because
is needed, it should be given
yes,
without any hesitation and without any restrictions.
true. So before I came here in Australia, um, I used to do my practice wholly only on Rasa Shastra based.
Say again.
And only Rasa Shastra based, my practice was going on. And
Oh,
I was
wonderful.
working
I
in
am
a
very delighted to hear that.
and I worked with very renowned Ayurveda doctors, and I learned from them too. And within a one day, we were seeing more than 100 patients in one day, just 12 to 8, between 12 to 8. That was our time,
In
once a
Australia
day
or in India?
in India, in Ahmedabad.
Oh, in India. Okay.
At that time, that was my, I would say, learning perspective or using medicinal perfect. Everything is perfectly fine, and people are also like that. They are ready to try because they are coming with lots of failure. They have seen lots of failure in
Yeah, yeah,
conventional
that's true.
medicine, and they were fine within a week or within a 1 month. They are on their own way. So that
Yeah, that's very
part I
true.
am missing in Australia, just because Australia is
Yeah,
very
I'm also missing
restricted.
here in USA also.
Yeah. So and still we are surviving. So there is must be something in Ayurveda that if we trust, if we have a faith in Ayurveda, he it can save us, save our life too.
Yeah, that's true. See, I have just read one very good sentence. Every Vaid has his story. Every Vaid
Ah,
has his struggle and knowledge, but it should not be differentiative. It should be combining with each other's experience and knowledge.
absolutely.
That
And that
what
is what
our
we are doing
ancestor has
here.
done. Yeah,
That is what
yeah,
we are doing here.
yeah. When it is come to dispute, then it is a ego. But when
Correct.
it is coming to knowledge sharing, then it is really a particularly richness of the particular knowledge.
Absolutely agree with you, Doctor. So that is what we are trying here under the name of Indian Ancient Wisdom Onshore and Offshore. So initially, I was starting or thinking to do this kind of conversation with Australian doctors, and then I figured it out that not why only Ayurveda, because whatever Ayurveda has to offer, the same philosophy we are coming with yoga, dance, even music. So classical music, classical dance also having the same roots. So that is
Yeah, that is
where,
very true.
yeah. So and just yesterday, day before, I have one other guest here from UK. So she is a very good dancer as well as she is working with yoga, uh, modern philosophy, NLP, and all other things. She is mingling all the different modalities together, and she is working fantastically. So that is what I would love to come up with. That doesn't matter whatever you have, but it is make a very good difference in others' life when your science, ancient science and modern come together in this 21st century.
Yeah, now
It
it is
does
a
make
need
a
of
very
time. It
good
is a
difference.
yeah. And now, so I think now people and doctors are also understanding these things. So,
Yeah,
in comparison to past, we are finding more open doctors at this time.
true, true. Very nice. So, what is future of Ayurveda you can see now?
See, I can see future of Ayurveda is never going to be dull. It is always bright because it has survived a journey of 5,000 years.
True.
And it has shown a lot of struggles, a lot of ups and downs, but still it survived because there is a scientific principle behind that. That is why it has survived.
Mm.
And
So,
it is never going to be down. It is going to be up. Let me say, I can say Ayurveda is a 5,000-year young science, not old science.
true.
Because there is a lot of thing to do in Ayurveda. Even though if you dilute the Charak Samhita, dilute the data of Charak Samhita, you will you can write around 1,000 books out of that.
Absolutely agree with you,
So
Doctor.
and
And yes, we have to do those kind of things. Like,
yeah, and see, I request to Lord Dhanvantari that I want to be again Vaidya in my next birth or my 100th birth. Even though
this,
whatever I suffered, I struggled, I never mind. I even though I have to take another 100 births for Ayurveda, I am ready to do.
wow. So I think this is what we need in Ayurveda field. All the doctors, all the Vaidyas,
Yeah,
if
all the
they
doctors
have
should be yeah.
this courage to stay in this field and work for Ayurveda with something, whatever the knowledge they have. I think
See, money is
definitely the coming
if
year will
you
be
genuinely
Ayurveda.
yeah, money is not the restraint if you properly practice Ayurveda. Because
Mm.
particularly we are the one of my friend was telling me that we are the nephews of Lakshmi.
True.
So we will never get any. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I also feel that too. If we are
Yeah.
working on a science based, like a ancient wisdom based data, whatever we learned from Charak or Ashtanga or Shushruta, if we are working on that, just a normal, simple circadian rhythm or some very simple based on our theories on based on Agni,
Agni.
whatever, and whenever you have hunger you eat, Only this simple, just one line of the sutras. If we follow whatever we have mentioned in Charak Susruta or Astanga, if we follow in our life, or we tell to our client to follow that, their life will be much more easier too.
Much more easier and better life.
Yeah, true. All right. Anything you would like to say or share to our listeners?
Yeah, see, particularly I'm living with the dream that I would like to have an institute that is as modern as as it has all the facilities with modern medicine, and still we are offering Ayurvedic therapy. That is my dream.
Wow. And if
So
I am
I can
happy,
see,
I'm happy to help you with anything. If you think I have something to share,
see,
I'm happy. I'm open for it. So yes, thank you very much for your time, because this is like very late evening in San Diego. We have a
yeah, it
afternoon
is,
in,
I think, but almost, yeah,
yes.
we are almost.
So thank you very
Thank you
much,
very much.
and thank you
I
very much for
also
your time and all your wisdom to share with us.
thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts. And really, this is not this is for the first time going for the podcast.
Thank you so
My pleasure, Dr.
much.
Kushil. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome back, everyone. So this is Dr. Vaidya Kamalkant Bambhania. He is working in San Diego as well as in India too. And if you are somewhere around this area, you can get benefit from him. If you are interested in research-based practice in Ayurveda, please go and see him. I will give all the description about him under this video. And we'll see you again with another podcast very soon. Thank you. Namaste.